they didn't even charge him with murder one. They charged him with the actual third degree
Third
and
degree murder.
second degree,
Second
right?
degree murder. Second
degree
degree.
murder,
Yeah, second.
and manslaughter.
Yeah.
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 So the reason why they said they didn't, why they didn't charge him with murder one, because it wasn't premeditated. You know how everything is so technical, right? But
Right.
go out and kill somebody in a way like that, I'm getting murder one.
That's the point.
The police officer now they want
absolutely
to be technical. Come on, man. That's murder
That's right.
one.
yes.
Like it's I don't even know why we having the trial. Like the whole world saw it.
Right. Well, that's why we also understand there's two justice systems, one for you, one for them. And they show us every day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Every day. It's the same story, just a different face. And it's been going on for generations.
Look,
ever since we came to the country, it's been going on.
That's right. We just didn't have cameras back then.
Yeah. You know what?
Exactly.
I always.
And now you have the cameras. They still saying it didn't happen.
I always, you know, a part of me, I be thinking like, dang, man, what was really happening when there was no cameras? I mean, we know based on our own experiences and people who we grew up with, or people that we, you know, who we know, but what was really going on when there was no cameras?
Yeah, unfortunately, you sit at the feet of some of these older cats, you know, in their 80s now, they'll tell you all types of stuff that happened. You know, I grew up in the state of Tennessee, so it's a dirty South for real. It was some brutal stuff happening, you know, and I mean, simple things. I mean, where you look, you know, have to call a little boy sir, little white boy sir, and stuff like that. I mean, we take that for granted nowadays, but those little things is pretty much taking your manhood from you right off the bat.
Tennessee, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's so crazy, right? Nowadays, you know, we talk about the South and Southern hospitality and all that, but some of the most brutal things, you know, happen in the South. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like our generation um have shown a lot more love, but there's still so many racist people that live in the South. It's still places you can't even go to the South because they still lynching people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, man, what do you know, me and Trey talked about you know, moving, you know, different places where we might want to live, you know, in the next say 5 years or whatever. And I really don't know where to go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, for let's be honest. Let's be honest, Jay. Anywhere that we go as a person of color, depends on what part of this town you live in, of course, and where you actually venture out to. We're going to have the same issue. Some issues, of course, in the South is stronger. I mean, literally, it's still places I've been. You know, not, you know, 'cause I travel a lot and just ride in, walk in, and literally everybody turn their head and look at you like, "What are you doing in here?"
yeah.
Those kind of responses still. It's like, and this is 2021. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? I mean, the main thing I do, I try to, you know, be tentative where I am and pay attention to my surroundings. And if I feel that, you know, what they say, that tingling feeling in you, I just relocate. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I carry my strap with me, especially when I'm traveling through the South, you know, and I ain't trying to go to prison. I ain't trying to hurt nobody, but I don't want nobody to hurt me either. You know what I'm saying?
Question. Yeah.
And you already know, like we just said, it's two justice systems. So mine won't be as justified if I have to do it compared to if they do it to me, you know?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I see my man Bullock just jumped on. Hey Bullock, we got my good brothers here. My best man at my wedding, DC. And then we got my man Marcus. He down in Florida. You down in Florida, right, Marcus?
Yeah, Florida now.
Yeah. What part?
Navarre, Florida, in between Pensacola and Destin.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hidden paradise.
I heard that's a nice looking area.
It actually is. If you want a quiet place to, you know, bring your girl and hang out, This is the place. You almost have a private section of the beach to yourself.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to come. We're gonna have to come visit you, man, because you know my wife always speaks so highly of you. She said that's my best male friend in the whole wide world. I said, oh,
Oh, come on now.
I'm keeping it 100.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had some deep conversations, man. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, she taught me so much about, you know, we used to have, I don't know if she told you the male, me and my boy Craig, you met Craig, me and Craig both came to y'all's wedding.
Yeah.
And it was 3 of her girlfriends, man, when we was in Korea.
I think you paused for a second.
Froze up a little bit.
Froze up. Hopefully we get you back, man.
Yeah. You
Okay.
back there?
Yeah. Gary, you were saying you froze up for a second.
Oh yeah. So basically, we used to have them deep conversations. You know, why men do what they do. We asked them, well, why women do what they do. And I mean, we were just beating from our hearts. You know, we trying to understand each other. You
Yeah.
know, at the time, you know, we was I think I was about 20. I was still in my 20s. Yeah, late 20s, about 29 or so, I think. Yeah, but she taught me a lot. Her and her girlfriends. But yeah, we kept in touch all this time.
You made a
Yeah,
huge impact on her because she talked really highly of you. So yeah,
yeah.
I told her I got in touch with you today. She was like, "For real?" I was like, "Yeah."
Right
I
on.
said he was on my mind because I had seen something that you. I'm not on social media no more, but we got a joint Facebook account, and the message will come like if somebody posted something. You know what I'm saying? So I seen your name. I was like, I need to call him just to see, you know, how you doing.
Oh, okay.
That's why I called you, and then I wanted you to get on. You know what I mean? Because one of
Right
the
on.
things that I want to do is get different brothers from different perspectives, different, you know, age range, different way. You know, where you from the South, I'm from New York, Bullock, he from Jersey, and DC, he from Chicago. So those are different ways of living, but at the end of
Absolutely.
the day, we all black, so we experience all of the same things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just different places, different times, but you know what I mean, we pretty much you know, deal with the same thing. So one of the reasons why I created the show, as you can see, it's called the Chop Shop. When we just chop it up. It was during the pandemic last year in DC. You know, we had it was like about 8 of us. We was just getting on the calls and we were talking about sports, what's going on in the country, what's going on in our personal lives with our families, different stuff like that. And one of the things I wanted to have a topic like this is because as men, especially, like there's a lot of things that we don't, you know, we don't discuss. You know what I'm saying? And me and Bullock was talking, so he said we did one on last week about what a woman needs, you know, basically what a woman desires and wants, stuff like that. And so he was like, let's do something on what does it mean to be a man. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because we work in the field that we work in, we work with young men, and me and him are like one
Mm.
of the rare people that are married that work there. So our story is a little different because we coming from a perspective of really what it is to be a man, not
Right.
walking around just chasing everything, you know what I'm saying, and looking at everything, but you can be focused on the person that you with and you could still be cool. Because a lot of these young dudes don't think that. They think like, I mean, one of my young boys told me, I mean, he said something like, I know you got, he said, who else got, how many phones you got? I was like, I got one phone. He was like, you ain't got one for your side girl? I'm like, man, I don't got no side
Oh
girl.
no.
You know what I'm saying? But the
Heading for destruction, brother.
look, but think about
Yeah.
it, the way these young dudes are raised and the way they taught and what they see to them they normal. So we as black men got to teach them like, yo, it's nothing wrong with having a family, having a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Right.
how God wanted it to be, and that's how it should be. But along the lines, all of us have been led a different way or followed people in our path that have taught us or shown us that nah, you're supposed to go this way. But nah, it's okay being over here if you do it the right way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I want to talk. So we just gonna open up, man. We gonna open up. So the format is gonna go. We're gonna go with Marcus. I'm looking at my screen. Marcus, DC, and then Bullock, and then me. So in your words, Marcus, what does it mean to be a man, and what does it mean to be a black man in America, in your eyes?
Well, in my eyes, it's pretty simple to me. You do what you're supposed to do to take care of your family, take care of yourself first, because without you, it's hard to take care of everybody else. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, but if you're in a bad way, it usually trickles down to the rest of the people that you're interacting with every day. Like you said, you guys are working with these young guys. If you go to work mad about something, it's going to trickle off most likely to them. Same thing.
Oh, I think you froze up again. You're having a little technical difficulties on the set.
And I got why. I don't know why it acts up. Hold on. Can you see me still?
Yeah, we got you.
All right.
You back in effect.
All right. So basically, like I was saying, that responsibility and taking that responsibility very seriously, especially when you have people depending on you. That's where I'm at as a man, and that's where I always been. I was raised primarily by my mom.
Oh, I think you froze up again. But you know how we do. We gonna make it do what it do.
That's right.
And he'll be back in a second. Let's see. We're gonna give him a few minutes, but a few seconds.
Yeah.
He might go to another.
Yeah.
DC, we'll go to you, and then when Marcus come back, he'll just shoot in.
All right. For me, Rome, I think what is it to be a man
That thing mess up.
is determined really by your position in your household. I mean, if you not out on your own, you can't really call yourself a man just yet. So I think in the proper order, getting that encouragement and support from your spouse, and then your ability to procreate, having children. And again, I said the ability. Some people choose not to have. I also believe as providers, we got to be on top of our finances. That determines a man.
No question.
You said it earlier, how many of us growing up, we was guided sometimes by the wrong people. So as you know, Rome, in my household, I modeled a good behavior in front of my kids and when they wasn't looking, so that they know what it is to see and be a man as they, go through that track. That's why I can honestly say my kids never caused me no trouble, never touched no prison, never touched none of that. And it goes back to what I said earlier, modeling a certain behavior. And something Marcus said was real important because many of us was raised by our mothers, our aunties, definitely our grandmothers, therefore having that absentee fatherhood. And so my mother told me once, hey, boy, I could raise you to be a man, but I can't teach you to be a man. You better go see your uncle. And I did. And, after a couple of pumps upside the head, I got my mind right. So into the second part of the question, to be a black man in America means we got to carry a lot of weight on our shoulders. And it's heavy.
Yeah.
And even though it may not face to face impact us, but we see ourselves in everybody, including George Floyd. That could have been me.
Yeah.
And so as a black man in America, we got to walk with a little more purpose, a little more caution, so as not to offend others and even make others want to take our life or put us in cuffs.
Yeah.
Real quick story this weekend. I played pool a little bit at the pool hall. Basic mistake. The dude got my driver's license up front. I forgot to bring the pools back, pay, and give him my money. I leave. I'm talking to another guy. We ain't running. 3 people rush out. One who's the owner's son, then 2 security. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? You guys didn't pay. And I was like, look, that was just an error. You know, what is it, $30? I said, but I didn't like
I'm right, right.
you brought the muscle out here on me. And I'm gonna tell you now, you know me, bro, I smash all y'all.
I
But
already know.
I had to get my mind right and say, you know what? How would that look? All he had to do is call them boys and say, we got a runner. I'll be face down in the snow. So I
Yeah.
checked my
Absolutely.
behavior, said, let's go pay it. Walked out. So in a nutshell, we got to be very cautious because we carry the weight of the world, especially our nation, our people, on our shoulders.
So before we're gonna go back to Marcus because we're gonna let him finish. One of the things that I definitely commend you on as a friend, and somebody who I just look up to is that, man, you got 4 boys, and I know all of them because I saw them little youngins in Turkey grow up, and now they grown men and they own right, and it's amazing because as Black men, like we don't get enough credit for
Not
just
at all.
doing what we're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
It's always like, he ain't doing this, he ain't doing that. But man, you and the wife raised 4 young men, and like you said, none of them went to jail. They all doing positive things. They've always been respectful. If I ever saw them out in the street, they wasn't cussing. They wasn't acting like they didn't have no home training. And that's a testament, to you. And like you said, you was raised by women, right? So you didn't have that man
Not
figure,
at all.
but you figured it out. And then you made the correction of, you know what? Because I didn't have, I'm going to make sure my boys do have. So
That's
I'll definitely give you props on that because you got some 4 outstanding young men, man, and they all respectable.
much appreciated. Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt. So, Marcus, are you there?
Yeah, my thing keep acting up. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why.
Nah, you
Can you
good.
hear me okay now?
Yeah, you good.
Right. I heard everything DC said. Well put. Pretty much ditto the same thing. Our experiences as a man, first of all, you carry the weight of the household, right or wrong, you do. That's where our society look at us. And as a Black man in America, we carry even a heavier load, if you will, because it's simple that we can't take our skin color off when we walk outside our house. There's times that I have to swallow my pride.
You dropping gems, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Hold on, he on.
We gonna wait on.
Yeah, we definitely gonna wait on him because I definitely want to hear that, man.
Still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That mug is messing up again. I see it. But anyway, long story short, um, as a Black man, when you leave the household, it's more weight on your shoulders. You're expected to do things almost twice as good as the next man. Down here in the South, I speak for where I'm at.
Mm.
Uh, I could be, if I go to work and do an average job, I'm looking at it as, if I just do what my counterparts do, I'm looked at as below average.
Mm.
But they come to work, cigarette breaks, talking all day, chilling in the hallway, nothing said. But as
Not,
soon as Marcus does it, what's going on? Everything okay? They start asking weird questions like, wait a minute, these guys do this all the time. And believe it or not, it was similar in the military. I
Yes.
mean, those that get the job done, get the job done. But as soon as you slack one day, they act like they come ask you okay and stuff like that. It's like, man, these guys go golfing all the time, this, that, and the other. When I do it, it's an issue. Or when I go to the gym a little longer to play ball or whatever, when I used to ball out, it's a little different. Y'all asking all these questions. So instead of what I've learned over time, instead of popping off, because all that's going to do is get me in trouble,
Yeah.
and then fall into the stereotypical, oh, he's an angry Black man. He's always mad about something, so on and so forth. I've learned to control that and use their words, their instructions, their guidance against them. And just constantly just provide, hey, y'all play this game. I learned how to play y'all's game, basically,
That's it.
in order to keep myself out of trouble. And as DC said, very important to me, and you can ask Trey about this as well, that I had to set the right example for my sons. I can't tell them to stay out of jail if I'm in jail every other weekend. I
Exactly.
can't tell them not to be drunk if I'm drunk every day.
Right.
I can't tell them not to, blow smoke if I'm blowing smoke every day.
Hmm.
That was very important. One thing, God rest my dad's soul, but my dad told me what not to be as a man. I'll be honest.
No
He was
question.
a womanizer. He didn't take care of his kids. He left a beautiful woman with 3 kids to raise on her own. And I watched, and I was like, wow. And it wasn't for coaches that I played ball, football, basketball, and it wasn't for certain people in the neighborhood that, guided me, if you will. Even though I'm a country boy, I know y'all from the city. It was the same that we had drunks, we had, people that did stuff, but they always, for whatever reason, looked out for Marcus. They say, hey, little Moose, my dad's name was Big Moose. Hey, little Moose, you don't need to be in this club. What you doing out here? Put that joint down. You don't need to be smoking that stuff. They
Right.
saw something in me I didn't see in myself. So even though they had those type of issues, they understood that, hey, let's try to save as many as we can and put us on the right track. Because ultimately, if we get more of us on the right track, as you guys know, because you deal with it every day at your job, the young guys, is going to be more productive for all of us as a community. So that's my input for the actual subject.
That's what's up, man. That was some
Cool.
good stuff. Bullock, what's up, man? You there? We can't hear you.
I'm right here, man. Keep breaking in and out, man. But I'm catching the whips. I'm catching all that the universe has for me to catch, brother. You know what I mean? So, I'm sitting here building, man, and listening to the brothers, man.
All right, so
Is
you know,
my go? My go?
yeah, it's your go.
What's the hold up? Get situated. Get situated. What's the question?
What does it mean to be a man, and what does it mean to be a black man?
I can't even hear you, brother. What's the question?
What does it mean to be a man, and what does it mean to be a black man? You might have some technical difficulties on your
In the note, man. Wrong.
Can you hear me? We can't hear you.
Marcus.
If you talking, we cannot hear you.
Oh, I said I'm not the only one having technical difficulties.
Right.
Bull, are you there?
Hey, ask me a question now, man.
All right. What does it mean to be a man, and what does it mean to be a black man?
Man, that was big. That was a question that we posed. I guess what does it mean to be a man? They give you the definition saying that you're supposed to provide, you're supposed to protect, you're supposed to sustain. Um, you're supposed to put it all on the line for yourself, your family, and your community. Like the brother was saying, we have different experiences, from the north, from the south, different ages, different things we go, but it kind of all correlates into that pot where we got to move different than I take our European counterpart.
Mhm.
So what does it mean to be a black man? To be a black man is to understand who you are and to have knowledge of self. To be a black man is to understand your role within your family, within your community, within society. Like I said earlier, your job is to provide, protect, and sustain, to put your life on the line for yourself and for your family, but by any means necessary, like Brother Malcolm X would say, by any means necessary. So, it's definitely time. You know what I mean? Like I think I spoke with you the other day, and I guess in our bills, we want to walk on the road less traveled. That's what separates the men from the mice. You know what I'm saying? Your order. You know what I mean? Without order, there's chaos. So I guess a man has to have order. A man has to be, on top of everything that he needs to be on top of. And I guess that's it right there. That's it right there.
All right. So for me, what does it mean to be a man? I think accountability is one, right? I think that it's easy to make excuses. I see a lot of brothers make a lot of excuses um, when things don't go right because they'll say, I didn't have a father, I didn't have this, and I had that. And I'm like, man, I didn't grow up with no. I mean, I had my dad for 8 years of my life, but out of those 8, I would say I really only had him for maybe 2 or 3 because he was doing everything but being a father. You know what I'm saying? So my pops was into everything from shooting people to killing people to dealing with this to money under the beds to guns. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that a kid my age should not be seeing at that early age. And then ultimately him being murdered made me have to grow into a young man at 8 years old because now I'm raised by women. You know what I mean? But I never allowed that to be an excuse. It was a learning lesson. When you young like that, you really don't understand it. As you get older and you get knowledge yourself and then you start reading and God starts showing you certain things, you realize that your path is ordained for a certain reason. It's not to make excuses, but it's to learn from those lessons, but not just for yourself, but for other people. So a part of us being a man is a process that we got to go through that sometimes is uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very uncomfortable. You know, I remember washing clothes and ironing and cooking at 8 years old. I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go outside. You know what I'm saying? But what my grandmother taught me and the valuable lesson is that I didn't have to depend on no woman for nothing, that I could do everything myself. And then if being that I had all of those traits, now when I do find that wife, I can help her so that she doesn't have to do all of it herself. Because, you know, some of us think, you know, being a man, like, you know, if I make the most money or if I don't make the most money, like, yo, this is what you're supposed to do as a woman. You're supposed to cook, you're supposed to clean, you're supposed to take care of the kids. But, you know, nowadays, men are doing the things that women are doing, and women are doing the things that men were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's that balance. And as far as being a black man, I think it's so vital that we never lose who we are as people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much. I get when me and Bullock, the place that we work at is predominantly black, and I hate to see some of my people act the way they do, like people not coming to work. I'm like, yo, like we're in a pandemic, like people out here don't have jobs, people out here lost everything, and you can't come to work. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody that's white came in and took over our agency, man, you know what I mean, people they get rid of, and how would that make us look as black people, man? So for me, being a black man in America, like Margaret said, man, it's like we have to do things twice as good as our counterparts. You know what I'm saying? Just to seem like we're on the same level. Not even doing better, but just to seem like we're on the same level. So we have a responsibility. But when I think about all of the people that came before us,
Absolutely.
it's really not that, what we going through is really not that bad at all. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my wife was watching a TV series, right? And I was just like, dang, could we have survived that? Like God knew when to make us, you know, be born. Cause there's no way that I would have been dealing with that. Like I would have been one of the people you'd have had to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So as a black man, our responsibility is, we have a huge responsibility, but that's why God gave us broad shoulders to carry all of that weight, man. So that's my take on it. My next question, though, I want y'all to give. We gotta be honest with this, man. Is there a man code, right? So if your boy's out there and he out of pocket, will you check him? You're going with Marcus. So what I mean by that is, if you know your boy got a solid lady at home, if he married or he got a solid lady and he out of pocket, do you say anything, or is there a man code in which you just don't say nothing and you mind your business and you keep it moving?
Good question. Me personally, I would absolutely speak to him. I would never go to the woman and speak to her.
No doubt.
For me, I think that's a man to man, peer to peer. Brother, what are you doing? You're about to give away a beautiful black queen, or if it's other, whatever your business is,
Yeah.
or something that everybody else is out there doing with, you know, whatever. And it might not even be the case either for that, but my heart will not allow me to sit there and watch you do it and then try to pull me in on it, because that's what most brothers do. They try to start using you for an excuse and all that. Because I was single I was married at 19, but that busted up, and I was single for 13 years where I got remarried again. So I've been through the whole thing. Even when I was single, I still had some level of moral character. But some of these brothers, they was all in. Like you said, with the 2 phones and all this random stuff, like, dude, you're doing too much. Just to cover something that's just too much. That's too much lying. But I've many brothers I've known, especially in my military time, that you clearly see is like, dude, what are you doing? How are you in a hotel right now? Your wife sitting at home by herself. Man, check out this girl right here, brother. No, brother, get your A home right now.
ASAP.
Oh, you ain't you ain't this, you ain't that. I say, hey man, call it what it is. But what I see you get ready to do to yourself is self-destruction. You get ready to give away nice house, nice car, all these things for something that is a dime a dozen. And I would hope that brothers would do me the same way.
No doubt.
I think true brothers are the ones that give you the truth. Like I always tell my sons all the time, I'm your father first. My responsibility is give you the truth, the way I see it from my experiences on this earth for 51 years. You have friends will flip-flop on you. My opinion is you give it to them every time. And what you do with it is what you do with it.
I like that.
I like that. DC, what's up with you, bro?
Yeah, bro. You know, you and I got somebody in common that we had to coach up.
No doubt.
It was going to cause a big rift in his family. And I kind of thought that it was to impress us because we had him by several years. But either way, we both tag teamed him with that knowledge to get his mind right and really didn't know him that well.
Yeah.
But also, even good men sometimes forget how good they are and step outside their house. And I've been checked on those behaviors twice by 2 people who I considered a good friend.
No doubt.
And so I think if we real with each other, as Rome said earlier, I'm going to use his word accountability and put it in this context too. I told my sons young that you are your brother's keeper, to the point one of them got it tattooed across his chest. And so I believe that if we surround ourselves with good brothers, then we should be true to that motto in the most difficult, in the most frustrating situation.
Yeah, no question.
And holding each other accountable. So, there was a time when I wasn't being the man I was supposed to be. You find it difficult to call somebody else out. And people have a problem. Only God can judge me. But what the Bible says, you can judge in righteousness, because we take that word judge and we really mess it up. It's not that bad of a word.
Yeah.
So if I'm true and faithful in my household and one of my friends is not, I can judge him. But let's talk about that delivery. It's what you said earlier, Marcus, and with all. I'm going to do it with love and compassion, my brother. You need to go home. This is not how you represent. And so, short answer, Rome, after that long thesis, yes, I will call you out if I see something's not correct about you. Because if I didn't, then I don't love you.
Yeah.
And if you're my brother, then I love you. So I got to show you in that way. I ain't talking about, that too, love from the heart, but also love out of correction and accountability.
And I think also where people mess up that scripture about judging is that because they read part of the scripture and it says first look in your own eye, right?
Yes.
So when you see self and you can honestly say, you know what, when I was younger or whatever, I made those mistakes. So I did this. So brother, listen, man, you don't want to do that. And then it's not judging when you know.
That's
so
it.
Facts and judging, it's judging meaning you really don't know, like you giving like it could be
right,
but facts is facts.
or you ain't living in the spirit.
Truth and there's only one fact. So a lot of times people use the word judging and
Take it out of context.
go with the somebody knowing the facts about something. Like, I'm not judging you, and plus I wouldn't want you to be going somewhere where you don't need to be going. So that's a good analogy. Bullock, what's up, brother? You there? Holla at us.
Bullock over there chefing. He doing some chefing.
I'm over here preparing a meal for the family. You know what I mean?
Good man.
But yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you want me. I got a couple things. So, I guess I'm younger than everybody here on the panel. I'm the little brother on the panel, man. I can see 35, man, 35 strong. You know what I mean?
Welcome.
And when you say your brother, right? I always say this to Lad. I say, man, we're going into a time where it's separation of death. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with, like, because you're only dealing with righteousness and you're dealing with devilishment. You know what I mean? You're either dealing in the spirit. I'm either your brother and I love you, I want what's best for you, or I don't. So if a brother's doing wrong and that's my brother and I embrace him as my brother, because if I embrace you as my brother, then that means your wife is my sister. Huh? So now we're on a whole different pedestal. So now, not only are you violating yourself and I'm watching you violate self, you're violating my family. You know what I'm saying? So and once we get into that love place for each other, then yeah, you're supposed to speak on your brother. You're supposed to let your brother know that, you know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, you fucking up. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? You messing up. You know what I mean? You playing with your house and you do it. Nah, man, you fucking up. And you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your family, and you're hurting me as your brother. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be right, I wouldn't be righteous if I didn't tell you. Now, even if, like I think the brother just said, like, if I was, you know, wasn't doing the right thing at a certain point in time, and then I stepped back and I got myself together because we had to self-check. We had to self-check ourselves, and we had to self-check each other. We brothers. So, hey, Bullock, man, you messing up. Hey, man, let me go ahead and tighten up. Hey, Lat, man, you messing up, man. Let me go ahead and tighten up. And it's a continuum. You know what I'm saying? But when it goes into, you know, the marriage and it goes into our women, which is our families, yeah, my brother's messing up. Hey, yo, nah, man, you disrespecting my sister, bro. Like, you gotta tighten up. Because all you, especially like you just said, experience. You done seen it. You know exactly where this road is headed. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely nothing good coming out of this. You know what I'm saying? Now, it may feel good for the time being. You might get your rocks off. You might get da-da-da-da. But, hey, after that,
my man,
you might as well hang it up, man. You know what I mean? Because you had it, like my man said, you had it for self-destruction, man. Because, you know, the crazy piece is, and it's crazy that we rap about this, the particular individual that know that we're married, right? She knows that we're married. She knows different things. She really doesn't want what's best for you because she's about to take you from your family. So how does she want what's best for you? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, tell your brother, man. Tell your brother, ASAP. Go ahead, man.
Like ASAP Rocky, tell him. No doubt. So for me, I think it goes back to our beginnings, right? And who we learn from and what kind of integrity you got. You know what I'm saying? Like what kind of bond you got. Because some people don't have those relationships where they solid. You know what I mean? So they allow they homeboy to fall because they're just used to that. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have something about you that you don't want to see your man fail. More importantly, than you don't want to say nothing. You know what I mean? Because I think as men, when men are going through stuff, there's a lot of things that we hold in and we don't really talk about with other men. You know what I mean? A lot of it is because of how we was raised. You know what I'm saying? Like our fathers maybe didn't talk to us in a way that made us feel comfortable to open up to other men or cry or, you know what I mean, or be hurt. So, you know, we try to be tough and hold that masculine and hold everything in. So sometimes if you ain't in the right frame of mind and you see that brother, you be like, man, I'm not saying nothing. That ain't none of my business. Mm-hmm. But if you really care about that dude, because I had a friend and I was like, and his wife was cool. And I was like, nah. I said, yo, let me holler at you, man. Yo, you hang with the wrong people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, they ain't about nothing. And in a minute, you're about to be on the street, because you ain't going to their crib. When it's all said and done, they not gonna let you stay with them.
Right.
It's cool to kick it and party with on the weekend, but when the party is over, they gotta go home. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it might be smart for you to go home as well, but I think that we need more of that. We need more brothers looking out for brothers, because too often we destroying each other versus pulling each other together. And we gotta be receiving to the point where one of your dudes could tell you something that might hurt you and you don't get upset. Because that's another thing why people don't say nothing, because they like, yo, he might say this, or, you know, he might say that. Because, you know, I'm pretty sure we've all had relatives, and we might have seen one of our relatives, female relatives, one of they dudes doing something crazy. And it's like, if you say something, if you tell your relative, and now she mad at you, right? You mad at me, but he doing this, and then you gonna go back to him anyway. So why should I say anything?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So but I think if you really care though, and you really care about the person, you like Marcus said, I would never go to the woman. I would definitely go to the brother. Like, listen, man, that ain't cool. Now, if he choose to do what he want to do, cool. But guess what? Don't put my name in nothing. You was not with me.
Exactly.
You're not hanging out with me. You know what I'm saying? Because the worst thing to do is for someone to put your name in something, and then they lady call you, and now you got to kind of guess what's going on without knowing what's going on. Like, nah, don't do me
And
like
now it's disrupting your household.
that. Yeah. And now my wife looking at
Then
me
it start
like,
disrupting your household. Yep.
and then my wife looking at me like, oh, this type of dudes you hanging around?
Yeah,
Exactly.
not even that. What you doing?
Yeah, this is what you bringing into our house?
That's key.
What you doing? So, and against all of that, I don't even listen. My wife will tell you, people don't even come to my crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the people I talk to is dudes is like family. I don't have too many. If you real cool with me, then we like family. We ain't friends, because I don't want to have to hurt nobody, man.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, in 2021, I'm too old to be getting locked up.
That's right.
At 51, I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to jail. And I always said, only way I'm going to jail is for murder, self-defense. That's the only way I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going for nothing petty. So,
right.
Yeah, man, that's one of the questions I wanted. So
that's a heavy question right there.
Yeah. So my last question is, how important is it for men to be men when we not around our women? I'll say that again. How important is it for men to be men when we not around our women? And the reason why I said this is because every day that I go to work, whether I go to the store or whatever, I always try to make myself presentable the same way I would be as if I went with my wife. You know what I mean? So I don't care how bad you look. I don't care how good you look. Like, that is not going to make me like, oh, I'm leaving home, or I'm going with you here. No. You nice looking. That's about it. Keep it moving.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's beautiful people all over the world, but I got beauty at home. So there's nothing that you could give me that I need. So from my brothers, I want y'all to answer this question: how it's important for men to be men when we are not around our women. Like, what does that mean? So, Marcus, you tackle that first.
All right. Well, it's one thing we can't hide. I mean, if you're a man and you're true to yourself, you're going to be a man wherever you go. One of the things that most of my friends know, anybody been around me, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. What you see is what you get. I am who I am wherever I go. I don't hide it for nobody. If I'm in front of the president, I'm going to act the same way, you know, as I would act around new fellow brothers like y'all. You know what I'm saying? My partners here where I live. I mean, I am who I am, you know. I feel that's very important, not to lose yourself, trying to be something you're not, and be honest with yourself every day. Because when I wake up in the morning and look at myself in the mirror, I know I'm going to be honest this day to whoever I address, you know, have conversation with. And to piggyback on what you're saying about, you know, I'm going to just call it the temptation that will never go away, because I've talked to many men much older than me and that's been married a long time, and I asked them, how do you deal with that? They say you have to find a way to deal with it. It's never going to go away. Like you said, Jay Ladd, it's going to be beauty everywhere you go. I've been all around the world like you fellas, and you be like, wow, I mean, yeah, you look good, but that's it. Keep it moving. Don't because once you step off into it, it can be almost a drug.
Yeah.
It can be almost a drug to you if you're not careful. No matter how good you got it at home, it just keeps coming. And I think truly that if you know that's your advice, because I have a brother here that he just got a divorce, and he's in the single life right now, and he's wide open. And every opportunity I get to talk to the brother, I say, hey, bro, you 50 years old, bro. You better slow down.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
He said, hey, man, blah, blah, blah. They just keep coming. I said, they're going to keep coming. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. There's too many. You're not going to ever win that battle. But nonetheless, I think it's very important to be yourself wherever you go and to constantly be a man. But like you said, your name and who you are, no matter how or where you go in this world, it will always follow you. As you said earlier, Trey has high things to say about me. I didn't know I had that much impression. I mean, I know we was friends, but to be honest, I was like, okay, I'm just being Marcus. And that's what a lot of people say. The friends I have from military from day one still say the same thing. Man, you always been true. And that's the way my mom raised me to be. And that's one thing I pride myself on is, hey, good, bad, or ugly, I'm going to give you what I feel is the truth. And not saying I'm right all the time, because none of us are all the time, but from my experiences, it's my truth. You know what I'm saying? So
what matters.
With that said, that's my input, brother.
That's what's up.
Right on. Right on.
Hey, what about you, brother?
I'm gonna go back to your first question and state that it is your wife that affirms you as part of being a man. And so something my wife used to say to me is, make sure you protecting us out there. In my mind, I'm talking about security protection. You know what I mean? I got that, baby. And she said, no, protect us. And what she was talking about is the things, Marcus, I agree with you in your statement, Rome as well, that we have within us, which is called lust. And that's what my wife was talking about. Protect us. My wife knows me. She know I got options, and I don't say that to be, a hot dog, but she knows just like I know. And so her point is protect us. I know I see them out there. I see the wolves out there. Protect us. And so when I'm out, I do just that. I can look at a woman without lusting her. I can do what you said, Rome. I can look and say, wow, nice looking woman, without thinking about what I'm going to do to her. That's where you fall into that lust sort of thing. And so what I try to do also, for example, at work, when I'm dealing with women, I try to say, how would I want a man to treat my wife at work? Because I'm going to do to this person the same way I would want somebody to respect and treat my wife. And so that gives you a little balance and a little pause if you think you're going to be out of pocket. And so when I'm out conducting business, I always keep that in mind, because there's always going to be one who make that eye contact with you, giving you that signal, and might look very good. But it's the moments, as Rome said earlier, man, I've been down that pathway. I've been down that shame. You know what I'm saying? I already know how. Look, I saw this movie. I know how it's going to end. You know what I'm saying? So I'll leave it at that.
My man, J. Rue the Damager.
Right on.
Doubt. Bull, what's up, brother? From the Brick City. Holla.
Listen, man, I'm taking it all in, man. I just want to say I appreciate you brothers, man. Seriously, man. Because listening to older brothers, man, and really, like I tell Lad all the time, man, I really appreciate them, because it affirms me as a man to be like, yo, continue to build, continue to grow, continue to elevate, man. And even in that whole, like you said, being a man, man, like, it's a saying at my job, like Lad will tell you, the kids will say, I'm on man time. You know what I mean? And when you know what I mean, like, man, that means when you say you on man time, that means you got to switch with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I take it as. You know what I mean? But being a man, like you just said, brother Darryl, like how your wife said to, make sure you cover us. You know what I mean? And it's definitely a day-to-day, a consistent walk, a consistent movement, because like you always have that one, or you always have them women that, come into your path or cross your path, and you say, man, like, and then you get yourself together and you say, what about home? What about home? Is that even worth leaving? I mean, what about home? What about home? And then, like, I know for me, I kind of, it happens to me because women look at men, like I said, it's a separation of death. It's a separation from the men and the mice. So I can see a whole bunch of males as a woman. I can see a whole bunch of males, but dang, that's a man. Like, I can like my body and my, you know what I mean? None of that matters to him. So now it's like, how do I get to him? You know what I mean? How can I, I said, then when I hear him speak, like he's intelligent, like, man, like I need that. And they crave for it. They yearn for it. So it'd be like, it's always a constant test and a constant reminder. That's why you got to stay prayed up, man. You got to stay prayed up. No diggity, no doubt. You know what I mean? You got to stay prayed up, because when you step foot out the house, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I know we're over in PG County, man. For those who, man, you from DC. So there's me, like, from Jersey coming out here to PG, especially where I'm at. I mean, you throw a rock up in the air, any given spot, you're going to hit something bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, and 9 times out of 10, she's not married. 9 times out of 10, she's probably dealing with a boy. So 9 times out of 10, as soon as she comes across you, it's like that's a man. Like, oh my God, like I think I found one. Nah, you ain't found one, sister. I already have one. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So it's like, man, it's rough, man. But we definitely, these type of conversations, these type of builds, these type of things, like I said, it reminds you, like in Islam, like the prayer that says the reminder benefits the believer. So it's a constant reminder, man, yo, you married, tighten up. Man, yo, you married, man, dang. Man, you married. So it's like that. I believe that married men should be around married men. You know what I mean? Should be partaking in married things. You know what I'm saying? Like events, like, all right, boom, hey, Lack, come on. Hey, we're going to ride out. Boom, we're going to do this. Hey, bring your wife. Bring my wife. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a good time, an outing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't believe that married men should be running amok with a whole bunch of single men, because then again, that's you tempting yourself. That's you putting your own self in the fire. Like, man, like, I don't trust me. You know what I'm saying? So why would I even put myself in a room with that woman? Right. I don't trust me. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah. By time you get in the room, it's too late, brother.
Yeah,
don't do that.
It's too
Absolutely
late.
not.
Don't do that. So listen, now, sister, you know what? I can't go out with y'all, man. Who gonna be there? Hey, babe, listen, you trying to come out? Nah, but I can't bring wifey. I can't bring. Nah, I can't. Nah, sister, I can't do that.
Good choice.
Sister, I can't even do that, sister. I'm not gonna put myself, because it's a lot of us as men, especially as married men, we put ourselves in the fire all the time. And it's like, yo, God, please forgive me. God, watch over me, cover me. But it's like, God, listen, God ain't tell you to walk into that room with that sister. God ain't tell you to go ahead and them late night conversations or them texts or them any of that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So we just got a separation of death, man. We got to continue to deal with each other, man. That's it.
That oven wasn't hot enough, man. So I'm gonna dive right in. So for me, man, something that DC said, security, right? Safe. My wife preaches that all the time. Like, I didn't, as a man, like, I didn't realize, like, when we first started dating and before we was getting married, she was like, why are you looking at this person? I'm like, I'm not even looking at nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, but women can see that. I'm really in my mind, like, I'm not looking at. So what I had to learn is certain boundaries, right? Just with people in general. Like, so I think my wife has helped me in that aspect of, she want to feel safe. Like, don't allow anyone to come into our little circle and disrupt anything that we have. And I'm very good at that. Like, you know, Bull, I don't even, pure my job, I don't even, they could never say, oh, Lad was trying to holler at me. I don't even look at you. If we ain't working together doing work, once I get off and I'm in that parking lot, I'm gone. I'm not standing around for no conversation. But I think as a man, just listening to your wife is important. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to hear it because you be thinking like they way off course.
Mm-hmm.
My wife would tell me some stuff like, yo, you staring at that lady. I was like, I wasn't staring at her. You know what I mean? But maybe I was doing something and I didn't even realize. Maybe I had been doing it for so long, I didn't even know. Because I wasn't clearly staring at her like I wanted her, but you just never know. So I think that once a woman feels safe and once a woman feel like she's secure, not just like you said, DC, like to hold us down, whether it was financially or whatever. I mean, secure in every aspect where they feel safe. Because for a woman, it's all about safety. They don't care about, as long as if they don't feel safe, ain't nothing going on right in the house. They not sleeping right. You not sleeping right. If they don't feel safe, ain't nobody getting no sleep. You're going to be waking up in the middle of the night and, oh, we need to talk. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
so I try to set the example, but it's some things that I had to learn, like boundaries with people, because I'm a people's person, but in a way I'm not. Like, I'm cool with everybody because I don't even try to, like, if it's a female at my job and she might want help doing something, I'd be like, yeah, I'll help you. Where my wife might say, like, don't you know she might be trying to holler at you? But in my mind, I already know she don't mean nothing to me. And as soon as I feel that, I'm nipping that in the bud. But women see things before we even get a chance to see it. You know what I'm saying? Just like we can see certain things before they see it. You know what I'm saying? So she's had to enlighten me on some things like, just be careful with this or just be careful with that. You know, set certain boundaries. Like, people shouldn't, like, we have group text messages at the job about, like, from our supervisor and everything. Like, why is this person text you? If it ain't about work, then why they want you to help them with this or with that? So that's just mindful stuff, right? But for a person like myself who's always been assisting and helping people,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? At first, that was hard to accept because I'm like, yo, this is what I do. I help people. But now I'm in a relationship, I'm in a marriage where I'm not making my wife safe.
Yeah.
So now I have to retool self in order to make the house safe. No matter how much I want to help other people, Marcus said it, you got to help self first and then family, right? Because if I'm not helping me, then there's no way that I can help them. You know what I mean? So, for men, I think it's real important that we listen to our women because, and we want them to do the same thing because there are some things that they see that we just don't see. And I know for myself, having gone through a divorce and getting remarried and just thankful that I got an amazing wife. Every day is still like a learning process still.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you learn, you never want to get to the point of complacency where you think you got it all together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always learning, and thank God for me, I got an amazing wife who will put me in check, who will check me and say, hey, we need to talk because this ain't going down the way I like it or whatever. And she always come with love and have good points. So, that it's healthy. Healthy communication is important for any relationship. So that's all of our questions for the day. But what I want to do is go around. I want everybody to just have their lasting words for the end of the topic, for the end of the show, and then we'll close out. And then I just want to thank you, brothers, for just getting on. So Marcus, I know this is your first time with us. I'm glad you got on. I'm glad soon. I reached out to you. I called you. We talked for a second. I told you when I wanted to do. You said I get off at X, Y, and Z, and you was the first one on. You was on as soon as you got in from work. So I definitely appreciate that, man. What you think about the call and
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity.
Yeah.
to be part of the group, man. This is one of the things in life that I've learned is very important for men to talk to each other. And I mean, me and my brothers here, we talk deep subjects, man. I mean, when a brother's going through something, we say, hey, man, we need to have an emergency meeting. I mean, sometimes we have drinks, sometimes we don't. Whatever it is what it is. But we all meet up and we work it out. I mean, uh, I've always been one to listen to people that's been down this road before me. I even listen to the young cats, like you said, Jay Lat earlier. I mean, because you get different perspectives. Because the older and older I get, as you said, you think you know a lot of stuff, but it's always days. I'll be like, man, I didn't never heard that before. What's
Nope.
this 2 phone thing, for example? Like, what is this? I mean, what are y'all doing now? I mean, really, is that serious to try to cheat on that level? I mean, what is really going on? But going back to the initial conversation I was having, that with my friends here, what we learn, we have what we call man meetings. Like Bull said earlier, yes, it's important to bring your women along, but it's important also for the brothers, true brothers, not going out trying to find other women, all that. We sat around, some of the brothers smoked cigars. We sat around a little fire pit in my man's yard or whatever, and we just have deep conversations. Because what we're doing during that time is kind of like popping light bulbs, keeping the light bulbs bright on your head all the time. It's like, oh man, I didn't think about that. You're right, man. I need to look into life insurance, for example. What happens to me when my wife passed, or when I pass? Is my wife and my family secure? I mean, things that may not come across your mind because, again, if you wasn't, around certain people that talk these things, nobody talk about it.
Yeah.
Until it happens, then you see the other brother going through it like, wow, it took them 4 months to bury the brother. They ain't had no money, whatever. And then that brings it up, so on and so forth. It's just little items like that. I'm again appreciative of you brothers. I listen to everybody's advice all the time. That's what keeps me going. I really get energized when I talk to positive brothers, because that's what I realize that have made me get through life all my life. Even those brothers, as I stated earlier, that had their own issues, addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, addicted to women, they still guided me off their track and said, get on the good track, if you will. They still was man enough to say, hey, man, this ain't the way you want to live your life. Look at me. I'm 50-something years old. I'm going from woman to woman, barely got a house because they take everything when they leave, so on and so forth. And I realized, like, hey, this is not a bad way to live. One woman, one man, as God intended it to be, and keep it moving. I mean, because all the other stuff is pretty much just interference. I mean, the longer you invest in the interference, usually the tougher your life gets over time. Or you have all these outside kids, and next thing you got child support, every penny you making going somewhere else. So you can't even feed your family you got. But I'll get off the podium now and move past it to the next, brother. Thank y'all for having me on, brothers.
No
Appreciate
doubt.
you, man. Appreciate you. DC, what we got, bro? My man DC from the shop. Holla.
What's popping? What's popping? Hey, let me say this first, man. Uh, you told me years ago you had a degree in journalism, and I witnessed that on a couple occasions. You was the commissioner for our Madden League, and boy, you put it down from that pen to the paper. Not only that, your poetry. And I asked you one time, and more recently, you gonna use that degree because it's rare to find what you want to do. Let me put it this way. I read something the other day, 72% of the people who got degrees don't work in the field they got the degree in. However, by you building this platform here without getting paid for it, your degree is paying dividends, because this is really what you built for right here. Bringing brothers together, building a platform, being able to moderate it and bring us together and build. And when you build like this with brothers, it strengthens our resolve to resist temptation, along with a lot of knowledge over here. I mean, we got so much knowledge on these calls that, as Marcus said earlier, that if I want to know something or need something, somebody on this call knows somebody or knows something about it. I think that's important. We got to get out of that Willie Lynch syndrome of being denied. There's no excuses no more, to your point, Rome. There's so much information right here, let alone at one click of the finger, you will be able to learn something and find out about something. So the days of blaming that other man, we got to get out of that. I'm going to point my finger at him. Let me clarify that. Blame only simply, I'm really serious about words now because they get a bad connotation. There's nothing wrong with the word blame because really what it means, I'm going to assign accountability to the person that caused this. Here's the problem. When we sit in that blame and continue to point and don't make no moves after that.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I'll say this, the devil knows exactly what we like. And this goes back to what Scott said earlier. He knows what we like. He's going to put every piece of what in our mind we ever thought we wanted to be with. And he's going to put it in front of us and tempt and test us. But Scott said it right. God didn't tell you to make that move. He didn't tell you to call that number. You know what I'm saying? You got a decision. As you said earlier, Rome, Marcus, I'm going to look. Okay, nice woman. We ain't got no blinders on our eyes.
Right.
But then there's a way to admire your sister's beauty without lusting her and leave it right there and keep it moving. But great call, great platform. Love that brothers can get together and bring some positivity and changing of thoughts and information.
good stuff right there, man. You and Marcus, then that's good stuff from the wise old brothers. You know what I mean? When you hit that 50 mark, boy, it's just something about being 50. 50 is the new 20.
No
Trying
question.
to tell you, Bullock, when you get there, brother, it's a beautiful thing. Holla at us.
Man, listen, man, I'm kind of lost, man. Brother Marcus and Brother DC then dropped it down. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to come behind that, but you know, like the brother said, man, like I when I say I appreciate these type of conversations, these are the type of conversations who molded me into the man I am today and the man that I'm potentially going to be. So, you know, like, you know, sure, I wasn't really raised with my father, man, in and out of jail, crack user, different things like that. So I gravitated to older men my entire life. You know what I'm saying? And whether it be, like you said earlier, coaches, mentors, I mean, my man at the barbershop, you know what I'm saying? Older brothers as I got older and worked with, you know what I'm saying? And different styles that they did, it's kind of molded me. So, like, this platform really means, you know what I'm saying, a lot. And that's like, I'll be looking forward to talking to my man Lack, like, yo, what's the topic? What we gonna do? Whether it be 4 people or 20 people, you know what I'm saying? As long as the brothers is building and increasing, you know what I mean, and their knowledge and, you know what I mean, helping out their spirits and different things like that. That's what it really means to me. So, like I said, man, I appreciate everybody's input. I appreciate the knowledge. I went and, you know what I mean, I'm sitting back thinking about how DC just put that blame thing together, man. I'm trying to, you know, put that thing together. I'm going to have something for Lack. Lack going to tell you about it in a second, you know what I mean? But that's just, I mean, that's just all, that's what it's all about, man. Brothers just coming together and helping each other increase, whether it be financially, you know what I'm saying, definitely spiritually. And, you know what I'm saying, with love, man, because what we do, what we increase and what we building with each other, we pour it into ourselves and our families and our communities. You know what I mean? Chicago, down south, Jersey, Maryland, New York, wherever, you know what I'm saying, wherever. And we continue to build, and that's just what it's all about, man. So I appreciate everybody, and that's what it is. Love.
Right on, right on, right on.
Yeah, man. So for me, it's
Right.
just, like DC said, you know, I've never worked in my field of my degree. Got my degree in broadcasting and film,
That's right.
communications, and yeah, I should have got into journalism because I love writing. But I think that what God does is He always knows the desires of your heart. So although He might have you doing things that He needs you to do, He'll always put you in a place too of doing the things that's desiring your heart if you're doing what God wants you to do. And I think working with young men is one of the things that He wanted me to do because I didn't have that father, so I could be that uh, that role model to say, you know what, you can't make excuses, man. Look, I didn't have
Positive role model. Positive is a word.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
important.
I didn't
Yeah.
have a father, so don't let that be your story. Don't let that be the end game. You know what I'm saying? Go create your own story while also giving me those other tools and gifts that I have to do things like this. And so we're going to expand even more. I only invited a few people, just you guys and one other person tonight, because I wanted a conversation like this. You know, you really got to hear from God sometimes. Like, who I need to get on here? You know what I'm saying? Because I think the questions that we had were so vital, and I'm glad Bullock was on as well because he's younger than us. All of us are in our 50s, but we still know game. You know what I'm saying? He's in his 30s, about to, get to his 40s soon, but he's a young brother who I learn a lot from each and every day. He say some stuff that I make me go home and think like, dang, like, so
Yeah.
it's never the point where we older and we can't learn from the younger brothers. And then he's the type
Right
person
on.
who wants to learn. Like, we talk about stuff about family and powerful stuff, and he do an excellent job with our young men. So I just want to say thank you to all of you brothers for getting on tonight. Our next call is going to be amazing. We're going to talk. If y'all got any topics, just text me if it's something that you want to talk about. But we're going to start doing this a lot more often and just share with the world, man. So on that note, man, may all y'all have a blessed evening. May God continue to not just bless y'all, but y'all families, and know there's love over here. Peace.
All right, brothers. Y'all take care, man.
That's
All right.
peace, brothers.
All y'all.
Appreciate it.
All right.